Hi
Annaleigh, how are
there.
you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. I'm a theater kid, so I've
Oh,
seen you do
awesome.
work, and so I want to know when you're approaching something like this that is, for the most part, you probably have to I don't know how the set was, but make believe a lot of this dust storm and like these bigger things. How does your work on stage kind of help you create a character like this in a more thriller-esque movie?
Great question. I approach every character, whether it's on TV, film, or stage, in the same way. I try to figure out what they want, how they're going to get it, what's the relationship to the character that they're talking to, what's the tone, and then uh, depending on the medium, there's different technical pieces that come into play about how you connect with the audience. Yeah, in the case of TV and film, you have a camera to help the audience hear you breathe and hear you think. And I can, the camera sees more into your soul, whereas on stage, I'm connecting with the audience instead of the camera, and they have to see through my body how I feel and what I see and how I breathe. So I think the craft is the same, but there's technicalities that make them different. But I'm just really lucky I've gotten to play in both.
Well, yeah, and with a movie like this where it is about one woman's kind of descent into her own madness with this impending like dust storm kind of playing. I compared it to like the mist and the fog, where that is what is outside and that's the scary thing, but also what people are going through is terrifying. How is it for you, like playing a character who isn't going through that descent, but still has to deal with the scary thing that is kind of knocking on their door?
The thing that I think was most striking when I first read the film was that there are two threads of narrative that are so painfully, unfortunately, applicable to the world that we're living in. One is the threat of climate change and climate disaster. And the Dust Bowl was a man-made climate disaster that a lot of people don't know about. And it's so reflective of what we're experiencing right now. Um, and I always say, like, when we hurt the earth, Mother Earth tells us that we've hurt her and shows us. And the Dust Bowls were a prime example of that. And then the other thread of narrative is that threat that's outside. And this movie was written before COVID happened. And we filmed it obviously after COVID, but it was outrageously applicable to the experience of COVID. There was this threat outside, but it kept us stuck inside. And how much of a struggle that was for so many people's mental health, and also talking about mental health and relieving the stigma from mental health. So I think this horror film at its heart has a lot of humanity. And I think that's what makes the good horror films great.
I 100% agree. I can't wait for everyone to get to see Hold Your Breath, and thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thanks. Have a good day.